In this video, I'm going to show you around Chester, Virginia on the map. That way you can get an idea of where Chester is as orientation to downtown Richmond and in other important locations like the airport. When we're done with the map, we're then going to just talk about a few of the pros and cons of living in Chester. Now, I have two other videos that have come out lately that have featured Chester in it. One is the 3 most affordable suburbs of Richmond, Virginia. And then my very last video was a neighborhood tour of Chester. So make sure you check those videos out as well. Chester is a part of Chesterfield County, which kind of makes sense based on the name. It's in the very southern part of Chesterfield. Chesterfield is a massive, massive county that wraps around the southern part of Richmond below the James River. And you're going to see all that on the map. But that's just sort of a general orientation of where you're going to find Chester. All right, well, let's go ahead and hop on the map, and we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Richmond, Virginia, and the surrounding counties of Hanover, Henrico, Chesterfield, New Kent, Goochland, and Powhatan, then subscribe below and tap the notifications bell so you can be the first to know about everything going on in Richmond, Virginia. My name is Scott Durnley with Joyner Fine Properties. My team and I get calls from folks like you every single day looking to help make the move to the greater Richmond area, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, heck, even 9 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All that information is linked in the description right below, and we will help you make a smooth move to Richmond, Virginia. All right, so let's hop on to the map and we're going to take a look around Chester. All right, we have hopped onto my computer and I'm taking you down to Chester, Virginia on the map. As you can see, it is right here. We're zoomed out a little bit, but if we zoom in, we can see it's sort of right here above Petersburg, above Colonial Heights. It is very close to Fort Gregg Adams, which used to be Fort Lee. That is an Army base here right outside of the Richmond area. So, it is kind of close to what we call the Tri-Cities area, which is Petersburg, Colonial Heights, and Hopewell. This is the Tri-Cities area down here and close to Fort Gregg Adams. So I'm going to zoom back out. As you can see, it is south of Richmond, pretty much just a trip down I-95 will get you from downtown here to Chester. So let's say you work in downtown Richmond. Really, your one and only way you're going to want to get there is hop on I-95 and it's a straight shot into downtown. There is going to be some traffic in the morning on I-95 if you're headed downtown. There's just no way to avoid it. Now, when I say traffic, this is Richmond traffic. This is not California gridlock, but it will not be completely smooth sailing, but in the big scheme of traffic, it is not too awful. Now, let's say you travel a lot and you need to go to the airport. The airport is right here in Sandston. Again, you come on up 95, then the best way is to get right here on 895, and then you'll take this there's a little back entrance to the airport right off of 895. It's got its own airport exit. Now that is super convenient and very quick. However, there is a big toll right here when you get on 895. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but it's a couple bucks. This isn't a 50-cent toll. So your other option would be just to take 95 on up to 64, take 64 east and come in what I'm going to call the front entrance of the airport. That'll save you that couple dollars, but it is going to take a good deal longer, and then you always have a chance of hitting traffic and congestion once you get downtown. So to me, if you're headed to the airport from Chester, you are much better off just sucking it up and paying this toll right here and taking $8.95 and then this back entrance to the airport. So when we're thinking about other things, where is our proximity to shopping? Your proximity to shopping, your best shopping is going to be down here. There is a mall right outside of, although it's not showing it. Oh, here we are, South Park Mall. And of course, we have our staples like our Sam's Club. We've always got to have, something like that close by to get your things. But this South Park Mall is going to be your closest shopping center. Is it the best shopping center in the world? Probably not, but it is close. Beyond that, you're going to be traveling up. You can always go out to the Short Pump Town Center, but that's going to be way up here, and that's going to be a good haul. There is the Chesterfield Town Center, which is over in this direction, which is going to be a little bit closer. But for your general shopping, that South Park Mall is going to be the closest thing we have. Now, are there a ton of dining options and things like that in Chester? There's not a ton of restaurants down here. So one of the things I'm going to say, we're going to kind of get to this a little bit later, but your dining and entertainment options in the immediate vicinity of Chester are going to be a little more limited than, say, other parts of Chesterfield like Midlothian, City of Richmond, Short Pump. They're just going to be a little more limited in Chester. Are there places to eat? Sure. Are there places to get your groceries? Sure. I've just showed you a Sam's Club that's right here that's not too far away. But in general, there's a little less of all that in Chester than some other places. All right, we're going to just hop onto Zillow real quick. I always like to look around Zillow and, see what they're saying. So if we hop over to Zillow, now Zillow has got a little bit different definition of Chester. If you look on Google Maps, they kind of break Chester off right here at 95. But when you put Chester, Virginia into Zillow, it's kind of coming over 95 and grabbing some of this area too. So we'll just kind of concentrate on this part that is on this side of 95. Coming down here, you can see we've got some nice houses at 375, 350, 374, a nice ranch style plan. This is actually one of the houses that I had on my neighborhood tour. We went by that one. I think I can find all of those. We went by this one on the neighborhood tour as well. And the other one is down in there somewhere. But definitely check out that neighborhood tour I did of Chester, Virginia. I'm telling you, for $449, this house was built in 2020. It had a ton to offer for this price range, and for 2,500 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths. There are some good values in Chester. So zooming in, you can see you've got some new home options. We do have some new home developments in Chesterfield. We've got 15 new homes right here in this neighborhood. We've got 12 new homes here. We've got 4 new homes here. So that is nice to have some new construction options. All right, we are going to jump off of the map right now and then just have a quick conversation about some of the pros and cons. We sort of started to touch on some of them here, but we'll talk a little bit more about some of the pros and cons of Chester once we hop off the map. So I have created a very handy relocation guide that can save you hours of time and effort, and you can link to that right below. It's a must download, and I think you'll get some great information out of it. Okay, we have jumped off of the map and we're back in my office, and we're going to talk about some pros and cons of living in Chesterfield. So I always like to start with the pros. Let's start with the good. We alluded to some of this stuff in the map video, but the number one biggest pro of living in Chesterfield is its affordability. There is a reason it made it on my top 3 most affordable suburbs of Richmond, and it actually was the number 1 most affordable suburb of Richmond, Virginia. You just simply can get more house for your money in Chesterfield just by traveling south on 95 and getting a little farther out of that radius from downtown. You get more for your money. I just looked at some numbers just minutes ago in the MLS. And this is staying within Chesterfield County, but let's just go over to the Midlothian section of Chesterfield County. Again, Chesterfield is a big county, but this is sort of an other end of Chesterfield County if you go over to Midlothian. I ran a search today on active listings, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, just to see what came up. For our active listings, they were averaging $505,000 with an average year built of 1994. So a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath in Midlothian averaging over $500,000. I just switched the criteria from Midlothian to Chester. That $505 dropped down to $415,000, so $90,000 less, and the average year built was 1989. So you do get a little bit older house by 5 years, but there was a $90,000 difference in just a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath house between Midlothian and Chester. And then in my affordable suburbs video, if I looked at Richmond as a whole, the entire MLS, this is not just 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, but all listings. Chester was $190,000 on average less, for all categories, all price ranges at the time that I ran that analysis than Richmond as a whole. So I found that to be amazing, truly amazing. So affordability is there in Chester. Another thing about Chester is part of Chesterfield County. Good thing, Chesterfield County schools are typically rated very, very well. Now, I would recommend doing your own research on this. There's 2 websites I love that are niche.com and greatschool.org. So do your own research on that. What makes a school good to you may not be the same for me. Everybody looks at that through their own lens, but typically Chesterfield schools are very, very highly rated. And now for the question of the day. For those of you who are thinking about moving to the greater Richmond area, where are you moving from? And what is the main reason you're leaving your current city or your current state? I'm truly curious. So let me know down below. Make sure you leave your answer in the comments below, because I do want to hear what you have to say. Also, if you have any questions or thoughts, you can leave those in the comments below, or better yet, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. My information should pop up on the screen. Okay, let's talk about a few of the cons of living in Chester, Virginia. The first of all, I would just say is general location is a bit farther away from things. Yes, it's closer to Petersburg, but it's farther away. If you're more oriented toward the Richmond side of things, you are farther down 95, and you're longer commute to downtown if you work down there. And if you want to go over to Short Pump, you're a decent, you're probably a 40-minute drive from Short Pump. So it is a little bit of a more remote location, and that's honestly why it's a little bit more affordable. So your dining options, your entertainment options are going to be a little more limited just because of where you are geographically. A second con would be Chesterfield property taxes. Behind the city of Richmond, they are the highest of all the surrounding counties. In Chesterfield, you're at 93 cents per hundred of assessed value. Let's just say you're looking in Henrico, they're 85 cents per hundred of assessed value. They're the next one, down the list as far as being high. So let's put that into context a little bit. So we just looked at your average 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath house in Chesterfield. That is $415,000. Now, if we're looking at property taxes, your annual property taxes on that $415,000 house in Chesterfield are going to run you $3,860 or $322 per month. Now, let's just say you went up to Henrico and you bought that same $415,000 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath home. That is going to run you for the year $3,527 or $294 a month. So it's right about 9 to 10% cheaper in Henrico for your property taxes. Now, these aren't massive numbers. On a monthly basis, we're looking at about $30 a month, but every little bit does add up. So those are a few of the cons, I would say, of living in Chester. But overall, I think Chester is a great place to live. If affordability is your, number one concern, hard to beat it for affordability. Well, that's it for our map tour and pros and cons of Chester, Virginia and Chesterfield County. I hope you found this interesting and got some good information out of it. So again, my name is Scott Durnley with Joyner Fine Properties. I've been selling real estate for 20 plus years. It's hard to believe, time sure flies. And I'd love to work with you if you were thinking about moving to the greater Richmond area. Now, I've created a fantastic relocation guide that can save you hours of time and effort if you're thinking about coming to the area, and you can link to that right below. It's a must download. I hope you check it out. So, and remember, whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, 9 months, doesn't matter. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. All of that is linked below as well. And until next time, I hope to show you around town. Take care, folks.